Hello, my name is Chris, and today I'd like to talk to you about dealing with cravings when quitting smoking. In fact, I'd like to read to you the chapter that I wrote on this subject in my book, Quit Smoking and Be Happy. All the information about where to get that book is at chrisscoyles.com/book. However, for now, let's dive into it. This is chapter 9, dealing with cravings. Cravings manifest themselves in lots of different ways for lots of different people. But when I quit smoking, they always manifested themselves in the form of an extreme tension, with the added mental insistence that only a cigarette could relieve that tension. My skin would crawl, my veins would itch, and my blood would boil. I'd feel like tearing my own hair out. Some days I didn't know whether I wanted to bounce off the walls, run away, or punch somebody in the face. Everyone and everything pissed me off. And as it did, all I could think was that one little cigarette would make all of that tension and irritability go away. Now look, maybe it would, but it would only be temporary. And the next time I tried to quit smoking, it would be back just as strong as ever. So I knew that if I really wanted to quit smoking for good, and if I really wanted my freedom, I'd have to figure out a way to get through these cravings. So here's what I did. I learned to realize that these cravings always passed without fail. And they always passed pretty quickly. Most physical cravings for a cigarette last no more than 5 minutes. In some extreme cases, they may last 20 minutes, but the average length is 5. You and I, we can get through 20 minutes. We can certainly get through 5. If you look on my YouTube channel, you'll see that the average length of my videos is 15 to 20 minutes. We can sit through the length of a YouTube video without reaching for a cigarette, can't we? Sure we can. But what are we actually supposed to do in that time? Just sit there and bounce off the walls? Not necessarily. Here's something that helped me. I call it the Purge. No, not the movie, but rather a technique I developed in which I would visualize that all the intense feelings of a craving were actually the sensation of all the gunk, all the poison, all the toxic garbage physically leaving my body. When the cravings got super intense, I would close my eyes and I would imagine that all the poison which had previously spread throughout my body was all starting to move and rush towards a few central points in my body. These points would usually be the ones where I felt the most tension. So I would imagine all the gunk and toxicity rushing to my hands, to my arms, to my feet. For you, they may rush to your chest or your head or anywhere else. I would then imagine that all this poison would literally begin oozing out of my skin and evaporating into the air. I could see it as a kind of vapour, pushing through my skin, leaving my body and dissolving into thin air, never to bother me again. I visualized it as a cleansing process, as my body purging all the toxicity out of me. I told myself that, having anything pushed out of my body was going to be intense and uncomfortable. So it was quite natural to feel these feelings as my body literally purged itself of all the poison I'd put into it. I also knew that once the purge was over, there'd be no poison left in my body at all. So that what I was feeling was actually a good thing. This was a cleansing, healing thing. This simple technique helped me to turn what was usually an unpleasant experience into something that I could tolerate and even appreciate. Afterwards, I could take a couple of slow, deep breaths and imagine bringing health and good feelings into my body, feeling them slowly and gently absorbing them into my skin. If you want to hear me explain this technique in more detail and even guide you through it, you can download an audio version at chrisscoyles.com/downloads. If you don't think the purge is going to work for you, there are some other techniques you can try, including breathing exercises. My favorite breathing exercise is to get the stress. My favorite breathing exercise to get the stress and the physical tension of a craving under control is what I like to call the 4-4-4 method. Breathe in for the count of 4. Hold it for the count of 4. And breathe out slowly for the count of 4. And repeat. This does two things for us. It focuses our brains on counting and breathing rather than the physical sensations of a craving. It helps us also to feel calmer and more relaxed. That big, slow, deep intake of oxygen actually relaxes us. But what if you're already too far gone? What if no amount of visualization techniques and breathing exercises are going to help you? What if you're at the point where the adrenaline is pumping, your heart is pounding, and you are tense, maybe even angry? What can you do then? Simple. Remember that all of this is energy. All that tension, all that stress, it's just energy that you can channel into something productive. So right now, go and do that fun thing that normally burns up your energy. Look, the days of punishing ourselves are over. We no longer have to put ourselves through the kind of torture that we put ourselves through when we smoked. So, when we're going through the healing and repairing process, we need to remember that it's okay to be kind to ourselves. This means that we get to go out and do the fun things. Play Xbox and beat the crap out of your controller. Load up your favourite dance playlist and dance around the place, or crank up that AC/DC album and break out the air guitar. If you enjoy exercise, there's no real better way to burn up that energy than that. When you're in that state where the craving has got you tense and angry and you have all that pent up energy, you have a choice. You can let that energy kick your arse and drive you insane. Or you can take it, channel it, and use it for something awesome. I know which one I prefer. How about you? That is chapter 9, dealing with cravings from Quit Smoking and Be Happy. You can get an audio walkthrough of the Purge exercise from chrisscoyles.com/downloads. And I will also link to my list of breathing exercises at chrisscoyles.com/breathing. There is also a video of the Purge, which I will link to in the description of this video. Quit Smoking and Be Happy is available from Amazon in ebook and print format, and from Google Play in ebook format only. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you are safe. I hope you are well. I hope you are making excellent progress on your quit journey. Until next time, goodbye.